It's always kind of pretty big. I would say like, I don't know, 12-inch at least. Good morning. It's been a few weeks since I have done anything in the garden, so today I took a day off from picking blueberries because I'm getting really tired. Anyway, so I thought I'd do some gardening just to clear out my garden. Let me show you what a mess it is right now. So the lettuce is gone. It's getting too hot, so that's kind of finished. Beetroot I'm going to harvest this morning once I clear the garden. So here I've already cleaned up these two lines earlier. So all I want to do is clean up these lines, get rid of all the weeds, harvest all the onions, stick up the courgettes like I told you in the beginning of the season, but I will show you how I do it afterward. So yeah, so just to quickly show you what a mess it is now. So, and I will show you again once I've done the cleaning work. So it's a beautiful foggy day this morning, but I'm sure once the sun comes up in about an hour's time, it's going to get really, really hot. That's why I've got up a bit early to do this work. So, yep, see you in a minute. So I have just harvested all the onions, and here they are. In comparison to last year, these are much smaller. The only difference I've done between this year and last year is that last year I grew them in a mound, and I think that is much better because the soil isn't so compacted, so the onion were able to expand. Whereas this year I grow them flat, and the problem is even though I've loosened the soil beforehand, the soil still get really compacted, so the onion wasn't able to kind of expand and grow bigger. But I mean, not too bad for a little harvest. Good morning, we're on the next day. So I have just harvested the leeks, and to be honest, it's a bit embarrassing. Let me show you. Okay, so they are pretty small, pretty dry. Yeah, they're pretty small, to be honest. But then I remember last year I had similar results, that I didn't get very good harvest with leeks. I think either because the soil is basically too dry and it's not fertile enough. So will I be growing leek again next year? I don't know, maybe in a small amounts. Maybe I would try growing in the plant pots where I can put a lot of like manure and good soil, and I would give that a go next year. But I think next year I won't be planting leeks in the ground, like I said, because this year it wasn't good and last year wasn't good. Anyway, so I'm going to harvest the beetroot now. That should be a better result, so see you in a minute. All right, so for those of you who has been following my channel, if you've been watching my video, you would have remembered that at the beginning of this year I harvested some overwinter beetroot and golden beetroot, and the result was terrible. They were really, really tiny. Okay, so here is a basket of my golden beetroot, and most of them, as you can see, are really, really tiny. But I want to show you what I've just harvested. Let me show you the biggest one I've got right here. Look at this. This is literally the size of my fist. Like, so these were grown over the spring, and I knew it's going to be this good because last year I had a great result growing beetroot. Let me show you the whole basket. I mean, sorry for my sniffing, I've got hay fever. I mean, look at the size of these beetroot. Look at these. I mean, they are really, really good. Look at the size of them. These are definitely shop size, if you ask me. So I have a really, really good, great basket of these beetroot, and I'm going to take it to the kitchen and weigh it so I know how much I've got with the beetroot. So yesterday morning I did some weeding to tidy up the garden before the summer heat comes, and I did say I'm going to show you what I did with the zucchini plant, so it grows vertically. So let me quickly show you what I did. Right, you see how nice and clean the garden is now. Anyway, so this is what I did here. I'll quickly show you. So basically what I did was I cut off any leaves that is touching the ground. I harvested the zucchini that is big enough, and then I put a stake like this support, and I had a string tie the string to the support, so it's now standing up. So as it grows, basically I would just keep cutting the bottom leaves, and it should go higher and higher and higher, and eventually it will look like a tree. The reason I'm going this way, because it's very common for zucchini to have mildew problem. Well, mildew is basically a fungus that is grow on the leaf that is like a white powder, and that is caused by moisture staying on the leaf and not drying out, and it's kind of growing moldy. And the problem with a zucchini plant is it produces so many big leaves, and it becomes so dense, and there's no airflow going through the plant and drying out the leaves, and unless it's a very, very windy day. So by this way, you are supposed to water zucchini like from the bottom, that you shouldn't wet the leaves. If you grow it the traditional way, there are just so many leaves all around the base, it's almost impossible not to get water on the leaf. But if you grow it vertically, like here, I can easily water from the base without wetting the leaf, and can also add manure or fertilizer at the bottom easily as well. And also because it's standing up, the zucchini would not be touching the floor anymore, so it won't get rotten. So this is actually the best way to grow zucchini. As I say, as it grow, it will just grow up in the tree, and it's much easier to harvest. I've done the same with the other one over there. You kind of only do this when they are big enough. Let me show you the other zucchini patch, which I haven't staked it up yet. So this is the other zucchini patch. As you can see, I haven't done the sticking up yet, but I have cut all the leaves around the bottom, and I've harvested all the fruits. I was telling you about blueberries and how I prefer the smaller ones, and I think blueberry is one of the fruit that, you know, not necessarily bigger the better. I think zucchini is also one of the vegetables. If you go to like a supermarket, your zucchini is always kind of pretty big. I would say, like, I don't know, 12-inch at least. I think zucchini is one of those vegetables that is better when it's smaller. So for example, when it's this size, like just a finger size, or like this one here, they actually taste better when it's that size. I have two more here that is still a little bit too small. I will wait for a couple of days. Zucchini does grow really, really fast. Yesterday I harvested all the zucchini. I think it came to a couple of kilos, I don't remember. Once these zucchinis are big enough, I will do the same as those two big ones I just show you. I will put stick on it and support it, and this should be pretty good. They look pretty healthy right now. So I'm going to weed this area before the sun comes up. The sun is coming to this area and before it gets way too hot. So right, so it's been a few days since I managed to do any filming. Just want to show you what the courgettes or zucchini patch look like now. Right, so this, it's been weed and I've staked up, and as you can see, the plant has grown quite a bit because it's been a few days. And zucchini plant does grow pretty fast as it gets warmer as well. You can see there is a zucchini right there, and I think there is a zucchini somewhere else. There are two right there. So yeah, it's growing really well. It is 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so it's pretty warm, and we just had a few days of cool day, but now I think there's a heat wave coming again. So, but the zucchini are loving it. They love hot weather, so this is really perfect for them. I want to quickly show you what's inside the greenhouse too. So I don't know when was the last time I showed you the greenhouse, but a lot has changed. As you will notice, the tomato plant has grown quite a bit. Okay, let me start from here. I have down here, I have lots of basils. I don't even know why I'm growing so many. Basically, I put a bunch of seeds into a pot like this, and they kind of all came out, and I don't really want to waste them, so I have transplanted them into all its own pots. So now I have so many basils and I have no idea what I'm going to do with it. But the good thing is with the basils in the greenhouse, it's kind of, because of the smell, it kind of get rid of all the bugs in the greenhouse. Tomatoes, as you can see, they are growing really well in here. I even have red ones, red tomatoes, orange tomatoes, well, tomatoes that's ripening already. And I have one here, a big one here, and I have a couple of bigger ones at the bottom that is already, it's getting ripened as well. And as for the peppers, they have been growing really well. There is no peppers yet. I did have one growing, but then it had rot end, so I did have to cut it off before it gets worse. But so far, just flowers, no peppers. Hopefully it will produce some peppers soon. And on this side I have my chili peppers. So all of these are chili peppers. I have these two particularly bigger because they were transplanted into bigger pots earlier, and then the rest of them are pretty small. I mean, chili peppers are very slow growing, so but we still got a pretty long summer season, so I'm not worried about them not producing any peppers. And then on the other side of the greenhouse, these are all cherry tomatoes that I grew from seed, and I have only just transplanted them probably 3 days ago, I think. So they have grown pretty fast. I think being in the greenhouse helps because it's pretty warm, and at night time it keeps them warm. So they are doing really well. I'm very happy with them. Hopefully they will also produce lots of tomatoes for me, cherry tomatoes. And then at the end I've got two eggplants. So I don't know if you have seen my old videos when I started with the greenhouse. I did have quite a few Portuguese kale in the greenhouse, and they have been in a small pot for way too long. So I've decided to plant them out into the garden. So remember where there used to be what they call beetroot? They used to be right here, and the lettuce, as you can see, the lettuce are pretty much gone. It's too hot, so they've bought it now. So I have replaced the beetroot with the Portuguese kales. However, the Portuguese kale were in a small pot for too long, and once I planted out here, basically it didn't really survive, and they all look like this one here, like a sad plant that it's kind of struggling to survive. But I did have two, this one here and that one here, surviving. But the rest of them has unfortunately died. So I took those one out and I replaced them with my eggplants. As you can see right there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they're doing really well out here because eggplant love food and they love the heat. And so I'm planning to get rid of the rest of the lettuces and plant the other two eggplant that you just saw from the greenhouse out here. So this is going to be eggplant and Portuguese kale section. And I quickly show you the rest of the garden. The sweet potato is not doing really well. I think it's just too dry. It's kind of just surviving, not really growing. These two courgette is also growing really well. That I'm very happy about. It's just keep producing courgettes pretty much once a week. I get a courgette here, and then I have these okra plant. They're also doing really well. My first time growing them, so I'm not sure if I'm doing it right. But even though they're pretty small, you can see they're already producing flowers, and I think they could be baby Leo okra. So hopefully, I know they love the heat, so this heat wave is going to help making them grow a lot faster. So this week's episode is a bit shorter. The blueberry season, it's at its peak right now. There must be about 1 million blueberries that need to be picked. So that's why I have been spending a lot of time doing work in a blueberry farm, and I haven't really had time to do some filming and some gardening here. I mean, at the moment I'm just maintaining the garden. So hopefully we expect the blueberry picking season to end at the end of this month, or at the end of, we're still in June, at the end of July, possibly before the end of July, because everything were ripened 2 weeks before it's supposed to be. So we expect it to finish 2 weeks before it's supposed to end. So, and then hopefully after the blueberry picking season, I'll be able to spend more time in the garden and kind of pay more attention to it. So yeah, this episode is a bit shorter than usual. But if you've been watching my video, thank you very much for watching my video. Do follow me on Instagram. I will add the link on the screen. Or if you would like to support me further, you can go to my Buy Me a Coffee page. I try to do a daily post on it to show you what's going on in the garden. Anyway, so I will see you next week. Thanks for watching.